And that's what, like, for me, I'm so locked in on harmony and balance, and not like balance where things are equal, but finding my state of power. I think the last couple of years for a lot of us, it was like survival. It was a lot of chasing. It was a lot of, trying to figure it out. And now it's time to put it together and like march on that path. I was literally just talking to my mom about this actually today. She's getting ready to leave. But I said, my biggest prayer right now is for alignment, that I'm aligned with God's path for me. Because what He's put in me, right, and what I'm dreaming of, what I'm manifesting, what I'm thinking, is what is exactly for me. So let's just stay on that path, and have the discipline to do it. Don't allow the noise and the distractions. So right now it's like, man, I'm just so aligned, and it brings me to this stage right here with you, because we've been talking about this now for, man, about a year.
And it's finally manifested.
We've been on this for a year.
And think about that, like, we have an exchange of thought. We have ideas in the cycle. We build upon this, and we both start to develop like these visions. They become seated in what we believe is possible. But we didn't know the set would look exactly like this, right? We didn't know that the air would feel exactly like this. We didn't know. We probably knew we would go drinking black. That was part of the manifestation.
We didn't need a brief for that.
But it's like now it's clear. And that's why, when you go to the root word of manifestation, it means to be clear. Yeah. And that's what I want people to understand. Like, you have to be clear about your vision. You got to be clear about, like, everything that's in your life. You manifest the good, the bad, and the ugly. It doesn't just work when you like what you manifested. It never cuts off, right? It's just being intentional about your ability to create those things that
What's up?
Are manifested, and they are clear, they are funny, whether that's money, whether that's friendships, network, resources, assets, whether it's your
Can
home,
y'all hear that?
temple, you can say, you know what, I'm happy about everything I've done before this moment.
That's 19 keys in the
I want to
background.
talk a little bit too about how we got here, man, because I'm sitting in this moment and I'm having just a reflection of the first time we met in Miami years ago. Like this is literally, as I'm thinking about this, it feels very
Him
similar
and Keenan
to
Beasley, that's his
you
name.
know, where
Dude
there's
look
a,
like my
in order
cousin.
to manifest, right, there's a level of courage that is required.
They
Like
speaking on
it
like
takes
high
courage
level
to do it,
conversations.
right? It takes a bit of vulnerability, right, in order to do that.
Changing
And
your
I think the first
mentality.
time we met, that was one thing that I felt like we connected on.
Learning
There
to
was
take
no
accountability when you're
posturing.
wrong.
There was no ego.
Acknowledging
There
those
was an openness
mistakes,
of us
fixing
just
them.
being able to share what we wanted for ourselves over the next couple of years, and how we could learn from each other. And what I think that came out of that was so special, man, is over the last couple of years, and I want to give you your flowers, just how much I've watched you grow and what you've manifested.
No, it's
But how much
crazy.
I've
We
been
can
able to
learn a lot
learn
from each other.
from you throughout that process and that pathway. And I think that is
You know,
something
a lot
that's
of times
important,
that
man.
people get
I
held
think it's
back
what
in
makes
life
this
is just because
stage,
they
right,
lack the
and this
information.
membership and what Manifest House is, what makes it so
Even
special.
though a lot of information is
Kudos to
in
you
a
as well, and
book,
I
a lot
appreciate
of
that, and I
people
understand
can't
that.
get
I
into a
think for
book.
me, what I hear
Like
is
they could
like
read the
you
pages,
being a good
but they
general
can't
soldier of
visualize
your
what they
war.
reading.
I think that manifestation,
And
is
that's
a
when you got to
war,
think about like over
because
50% of
there may be
people in the
somebody trying to
world,
manifest that same
they
spot
can't
that you
explain
at.
themselves. They can't
And it's a tug of
explain
war. Whose
things
energy
in
you
their
gonna bring?
life.
Whose
It's
execution is gonna
hard
be the
for them to
best? Are you
explain it.
gonna give up the second year? Because people I met you with that I no longer
That's
rock
why a
with.
lot of people are
So it's
shy.
like I didn't know that
It's
was one of the
easier
biggest
for them to
things.
talk when they
But it
know
was like
somebody,
those
they
battle scars
familiar,
and
they
those
feel
scars make
comfortable.
me better for the war tomorrow.
You know,
Right?
when
So there's an appreciation of
you can only
all of
do
a
that with
thousand
people that you
battles and a
know, and you
thousand
can't do
cuts
that
that go through
outside the
it,
house.
and
The
everybody's
random
not able
people,
to survive
the
to have
network
that same
that
energy,
hold you back
right,
in
that they
life.
had when they first started. Yeah. And I think that to me, that's probably one of the
You
most
know,
important things. Can you
you gotta
maintain that same
you gotta
childlike
lose that.
spirit, that same vigor, that
Like you gotta
same
fight that
passion that you have
shyness,
from day one
cause you never know
till
who
that
you
day
gonna
when it's
meet.
time to give birth to something?
You never know the
Everybody ain't got
conversation.
that. You feel me? And
You
that's
might be
what
saving
really
somebody's
dies off
life.
is during the
You know.
process of producing
I
something is
remember
the
I was dating
passion
this
that you
girl in
have
school,
for
and I
the
thought she
idea,
was
the love
cheating,
that you have
right?
for the journey and
She kept
for,
on writing in a
whatever
notebook.
you're trying to
I'm
bring
like,
into
okay, she
fruition.
thinks she's slick.
And I mean,
She
and
writing
that's
in
when
this
you know you
notebook.
really
She
are tapped
writing
in
paragraphs.
to a
We
proper
talking
ground.
and stuff. I'm just
Because
like,
it's
man,
not
she keep
something that
writing
you
in
can
this
give up.
notebook.
It's not
And
something
one
that
time I seen her
you can
fold
shake.
one of the pages
I
up,
get a
and I'm
lot of
like, oh, I
questions
know what
like,
that mean when you fold them pages up.
hey, I got
Y'all
this
gonna be
idea that I
passing
really want
notes
to
in,
pursue.
in
When do you
class.
think is the right time?
So,
If it's really a
one
dream,
day,
if it's really something
man,
burning,
she like
and like in
left
deep in your
left her
spirit,
notebook,
you
and I was
can't
just
not do
like, I
it.
kept on saying
That's
like,
what
I'm
I
gonna
told her.
read that
That's
shit.
when
I'm
you
gonna
know it's
read
time.
it.
It's like, when did I know it
So I
was
go
time
over
to
there and
quit?
I grab it,
Corporate.
start
I
reading the
couldn't
book.
do it another day.
I'm
That's when it
like,
was time.
I'm going through it,
I
and I'm
had
just
to
like,
put all
what
my
the
energy in
fuck?
being an entrepreneur.
What the fuck?
Because I
And it
couldn't
was like
shortchange myself. And that's
this
why, like
person.
our
It was like
saying
these
with
people
this
in
whole thing,
school,
the playground for your dreams.
like they was
It's like when
twins,
you were a
and they
kid
was
and you
they
saw
had
the playground,
suicidal thoughts, and she was
you
like
couldn't get inside.
a student something. Like she used to help out like students, and she was helping out her and her brother, write them notes, and like encourage them to stay alive and all that. And they was telling her in the notebook like, we're only still alive and haven't did it because we haven't killed ourselves because of you, because you're the only person that loves us, you're the only person that checks up on us. I'm like, damn. I started looking at her different, like, damn, I didn't want to tell her I read the notebook. I'm just like, damn. I don't think I ever told her I read the notebook. Like, I just act like, but the crazy part about it is those twins end up killing themselves anyway. But like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's because I started like, I don't know. It wasn't me. It wasn't my fault. I don't know. Transgender. Why you always asking about the transgender? You a transgender? Crazy. Yeah, man. You just gotta stay focused though, for real. You gotta really, before you can make any relationship work, you gotta work on yourself. You gotta really be putting in some work on yourself. Like, if you know you're not good at math, start working on math. Just like little stuff, like the math you're gonna need to do a business. Learn that math. Learn percentages. You know what I mean? Learn little business terms like ROI, ROE. Like, learn stuff like that. Like capital gains. Like, learn stuff like that. Telling you, it's gonna take you to the next level. You know, and then just like learn about like women, and then learn about men, and learn how like they wire different. Like, no matter how much you want this girl to understand what you think is yellow, to her it might be bango yellow. Like, you feel me? Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you're never gonna see it the same. Like, yo, smell something, she think it smells so good, you don't think it smells so good. You think something smells so good, she don't think it smells so good. Like, but then sometimes you gotta like break into that. Like, just because you think something smell good and your girl telling you it don't smell good, bro, wear the cologne she told you that smell good, bro. Work on yourself. Stop being stubborn. Put your ego to the side. Females too. Like, when your man telling you like maybe you shouldn't wear that tonight, listen to him. Like, what's gonna hurt? What is it gonna hurt you to listen? Like, what is it? Like, fuck it. Put that outfit and save it for if he fuck up. That's the outfit you gonna put on. You feel me? Now you know the outfit that fuck his mind up. Like, put that outfit on now when he make you mad. Like, you know what I mean? But at least start off listening to him. You know. You got a drip for real, for real. Hey, I appreciate that.
You bouncing up
I
against the wall. You
appreciate
had
that.
to get out.
That's real.
You had to play.
Okra,
And that's what really
Okra.
happens. And I
Yeah.
think what we've done is we've stopped dreaming. We don't allow ourselves to do that. Right? We temper our feelings. We temper
Where y'all
our
from?
energy. We stop believing.
Man, y'all don't be hitting
And
the
we just
like button
follow
for me,
along. We just
man.
become kind of,
All you gotta do is
abandon
hit the like
ourselves.
button one
That
time,
shit
man.
bullshit.
It's
Like,
crazy.
that's over. We
It's
should
all
not do
good
it
though.
for
One
real,
day
for real.
somebody gonna come in here and they gonna be like, you know what? I'm gonna hit the
It's
like
like
button
people
for him,
only
man.
call you for bad news.
I'm gonna go ahead and just shoot a comment,
It's
man.
like
I'm
when
gonna
you want
blah,
to share
blah, blah.
good
You know what I
times, you
mean?
gonna share
Just
healing,
come through, show some
right?
love.
And
Most
I
people
think
just
that's where
slide
the
through and they
place
just be
is
like, man,
where
fuck you.
we, in
Man,
this
fuck you.
place of
You know
society
what?
now,
Maybe I should reverse
I'm a little bit
psychology
supportive.
it. Maybe that's the
So many
problem.
people spoil the
Maybe I need to
process,
go at it a
right? And
different way.
still
Maybe I
do,
need to just be like,
right? And I
don't
think in a
fucking
spoiled
comment.
society, we start to
Don't fucking
complain,
put like,
about
yeah,
first world problems.
don't show me no
And
love. I don't want no
normally it
love.
has been. And then
Don't show
sometimes
me
we
no
distract
love.
ourselves with the complaint
Yeah.
because we
How
don't
about
want to
that?
clear our
Don't
attention
show
and be
me
like,
no
I have to
love.
do work and everything
I don't
about
want you
me.
to put no
And you have to
likes.
really
I don't want you
operate
to
from
put no
ownership.
comments. I
Because
want you to just
ownership
be like
means
that. I
means
want you to
that
be like the person you
you
is.
accountable for everything that
Be
happens.
you.
Yeah,
No
we're,
matter
we're
what.
all searching for somebody to
If you
blame.
want to be
And
funky
there's something
breath,
to be
you
said
be funky
about
breath.
People that seek out and
You
want
want
to
you want to
hear
be you want to smell
or
like you've been using your
it's something
motherfucking
I've learned in the military
toilet
when we
brush
talk
as a
about people
toothbrush.
dealing with
Go ahead. Go
PTSD
ahead.
or
That work for
what if
you.
the psyche of an
That
individual
work
that
for you.
wants to
That's why
go
you
into the
talking that
military
shit
and serve.
all day anyway.
What I've heard time and time again is, we focus on helping
Don't
other
show no
people, we
love.
can't help ourselves.
But
And
then
it's
if I do
easier to
that,
think about
then they
somebody
gonna be
else's
like,
trauma and to want to help them
oh man,
than to look
he
inside
fucked up.
yourself and
All he do
figure
is
out
talk negative.
how to actually focus in
You
on
know what I
your
mean?
dreams.
At
And
the end
that
of the
stops
day,
people.
you
So
just
we
gotta be
love
yourself.
sharing because we want to
Be
have
who you
perspective on
supposed to
somebody
be.
else's stuff.
You
When you're
know?
really dreaming, you don't have to
Learn how to budget.
to hear somebody else's stuff.
Just because you
Because I
make
don't have
this
it to
much
give you
money
every
per
time
month,
to really help you. I'm trying to
man,
bring my
cut that in
dream
half and act
to
like you only
fruition.
made that much
So how
money
can
in
I
a
sit
month.
there and listen to that?
And put the other
That's
half
taken away from my energy.
away in
So what happens
investment,
is people like the drama and they get caught
savings.
up in it. I
You know
feel
what I
like
mean?
because they've
And
stopped
try to
living.
survive off half of it
You
every
don't want to sit
month.
on, no offense
See how
to
far that
Shady
gets you. You gotta
Rays
learn
and
how to
all
budget.
the drama
A
side
lot of y'all
stuff.
don't know how to
You
budget.
don't want to sit there and
You don't
listen
want
to
to
people
budget.
in that
You
when
want
you
to go
got your
out here
own dream.
stunting. You want to go out here partying.
That's a fact.
You
I
know,
mean, I
you like
think that
popping them
everybody
bottles,
goes to
huh?
being woke instead
Look
of
at you,
awakened.
ready to go pop some bottles tonight.
When you awaken, your spirit
I
is
already
alive.
know you.
You got a
You
reason
little
to
alky.
live.
Yeah.
Every day
I
is a
came to tell you, you a
continuation of
alky.
purpose.
You
Right?
came to the
You have
right
an
place.
energy
You
that
need to put the
ignites
bottle down, but
within
you
you.
can't.
But it's
You
like for
can't. The
everybody
bottle
around you
always calling
because
your
you
name.
have something
You know what I'm
inside you
saying? You
that
can't.
you are living for.
This guy is
And that's what
well-known child
everybody's
predator with
searching for.
multiple
Right?
convictions. He's a sick
You
man
know,
and has brutally
listen,
assaulted
I believe that
many
everybody needs
children.
to
Please
have
be
a level
careful.
of militancy
Y'all,
in life.
he is not
And at the
supposed to be
core of
online
understanding that because
per his
the military
sentencing.
is a foundation,
What the
right, that
hell?
allows you to develop discipline. It
You wrote
allows you
all
to
that.
be able to
You
submit
bored.
while gaining your own power, right? It's not the submission
You
that goes
bored.
to make you weak, right? And there's so many people who can't
You
submit
wrote
to
all that.
themselves anymore. If you can't give yourself
You just
authority to
imagine how
carry
you
out
had
that
to write
authority
all that with your
into
thumbs. You
full
was just
fruition,
like,
then your dream doesn't matter because it's never going to come true. Because you, as the carrier of that dream, will continue
you
to
was just
abort it,
typing a lot.
right?
You
And
typed
harmony
till
is
it
in
told
life
you
as
can't
far as
even type
working
no more,
harmony.
huh? You just
You
was
know what I'm
like,
saying?
let me type a whole bunch of
Whether
bullshit
you're
under there.
aborting, and this
Let
is
me.
why they say position yourself wisely. And I said that's what men get pregnant. And people have a tendency
Don't
to
play
bypass
dumb,
those
bro.
signs,
We know who
right?
you are. I'm
It's a
calling
clear
the
presence.
cops
We still
now.
you need to listen,
Okay.
right? And for me, it's like
All right,
man's
bro.
mind is his womb. When how
You
many
calling
men
the
can carry
cops,
out the
bro.
mission and how many men abort
All
that mission?
right.
So I want people to think of it like that because a woman
Okay.
has two wombs. She has the one in the mind,
All
but she
right.
also has a physical womb. To where all
Why you was
she
telling
can
me?
show you her strength by literally being able to go through pain. That's it. And give
Why you
birth to
telling me?
something and complete the mission. That's by bringing you here. Your mother completed the mission. Now, we have a world where not enough
Oh,
fathers complete the
okay.
mission.
Now you gonna
Not
test my
enough
jaw.
sons become fathers to complete
Okay.
these missions as well.
Right.
So you have a lot of men that
Okay.
are aborting and they don't know what it's
Okay.
like to be complete successes. A
All right.
mother is a success the moment that she completes the mission of
All right.
bringing a child. Then it's
You
a
got it.
campaign of raising the child.
You got it.
But she already completed
Go on
something,
here.
so she has a knowing of her abilities.
Go on here. You got
How do
it.
you know your abilities if you don't
You
bring
got
nothing
it.
into life?
Man, it's so interesting. Like, the way you
Take your
phrase
time.
that,
Take
man,
your
it just
time.
makes me think of my partner.
Take your time typing.
I've
Go
watched
on
Dev
here.
now go through 2 pregnancies, right, and 2 natural births.
Go ahead, hit
And I
it.
tell
Hit them
people,
thumbs.
I've
Go, go,
never
go,
seen a
go.
struggle
Hurry up.
like that.
Hurry up.
Right?
Get some thumb
Now,
fitness in. Go on here.
as a man, right, we can't process.
You know what? Every
that type
bad
of
lie and vibe you
and
put
it's
on me,
hard to watch
I'm going to take
someone
all that
go
energy
through
and
that,
ball it up,
right? But to
and
bring
I'm
it
going to
into
send
what
it
you're
to you
talking
in
about,
your
right?
life.
What that also was
I'm
a
going to send it to
demonstration
your
of was
car. So every
forgiveness
time you hop in your
and her
car,
willingness to sacrifice.
that motherfucker gonna break down and you gonna think about me.
sacrifice her body
And I'm gonna be like,
and the change
in your
in how
mind,
a
and I'm
woman's
gonna be
body
like, I
goes through.
told you not to
Um,
do
to
stuff like
sacrifice
that.
the change in
Don't do that.
lifestyle,
You don't know who you
right?
dealing with.
You go from one
You
day
gonna
you
remember
routine,
me.
you
I'm
hang
like
with
a
folks, and
genie.
then you drink.
Every bad thing
There's no
you
drinking,
think or
right?
say, I'ma send it back
At
in
least once a
tens
week.
and folds to
Yeah.
you, right?
She's out. Yeah.
It's
Right.
gonna
When she
tear
first
your
came in, she
motherfucking
did it
alternator up.
with grace
Your tires,
because
they
she
ain't
had
gonna
mission,
make it on the road.
and she was gonna complete the mission.
Your
And to your
house
point,
and
and
your
we get to
apartment,
witness women doing that.
you gonna keep
And so,
having
what are we going
constantly
to
bagged up
sacrifice
doo-doo toilets,
for that
smelling
mission?
like
You're a
shit,
painter. We were in
just
the
for all the
culture,
shit you was
and a
talking,
lot of
right?
times what happens are
And every time you
women
go
walk.
eat food,
Yeah,
right, you
we
gonna get
we've got to
food
lead.
poisoning. You
We
gonna keep
want
getting the
things to
bubble
be
guts and you gonna
comfortable,
have to shit.
and
Your
there is no
stomach gonna be
comfortableness.
toe the fuck up every
That
fucking
doesn't
time you
happen.
gonna think about me.
That
And I'm gonna
involves
be
the
like, I
support
told
of
you,
mission.
don't you do that.
So
I'm not the one you do that to. I'm
that's what it
sending
is.
it back to
You
you like
want,
this.
we
Take
have
it.
this thing, I have a dangerous mission, right? So I need a West Point football player. We talked about that, but it's like when you
I'm
have
sending you all
this
that,
dream, this big goal, it's gonna
all your
require
energy back folded to
sacrifice.
you.
It's gonna require discipline. It means you're gonna have to go through a lot of pain. Not to cut you away from no. What do you believe
Now I
is your biggest
controlled you from your negative
sacrifice
thoughts.
that brung you here? Right? You are.
When everything bad keep happening to you in your relationships, this is all from your negative thoughts.
You have the
You
ability. You got
started this.
products in stores.
You gave
Right?
me the
You have
power to
all of these
get inside
collaborations.
your
You
mind
coach 3,000
and
people
take over.
a year. Right? So I know someone
It's
got
your
at least
fault.
30% got to be catching.
It's not mine.
You feel me? You connected
I'm there now.
everywhere. You feel me? I think the other day Biden called you.
And I'ma control you.
About Trump. I said, is that Biden on the phone?
And you think it's a joke too.
So
You
where
think
does
it's a joke.
sacrifice come? I went
Watch.
to the top military school
I
in the
control
world.
you.
I went to the top black military, program, in America.
You gonna see me when them lights cut off and it get dark in your house
But
and you get
that's a
scared
place
at
where,
night.
it's supposed to draw out the best of the best. Yeah.
That's all that negative energy you sent.
Now here, present,
It's coming back.
saying that, you stare in the mirror and be like, I've made a certain level
I'ma
of
control
influence,
your
I
mind.
have a network, I have a beautiful family, I have my house,
I'ma
I have
devour
this
your mental
aptitude
from your
and
negative
ability to
thoughts.
think and process thoughts. What is the biggest
I'ma
thing I
be
had
in
to
your
sacrifice
mind,
to be here?
eating you
Sacrifice to
alive
give us something sacred.
from all the negative
Yeah,
stuff
I
that you
think
do every
the
day.
sacrifice for me,
I'ma
and
increase
as I'm
it.
sitting here, right, and I'm reflecting on some stuff I was
I'ma
actually
make
going
you
through
feel
this
like you're
morning,
going crazy.
where I
All
had
from
to
your negative thoughts.
check
You open this door.
a soft demeanor that was in
You open
myself
this
and my
door for me to get
spirit.
inside
I
your
think we
mind.
all go through that. And there was something I didn't like about myself and how I was feeling this
Every
morning.
negative
But
thing you thinking
there is a
that you
level
got
of
to think about
isolation
me, I'm inside your mind forever.
that is required in order to
But you
achieve
did that.
one's goals.
You
And
did that.
I have been an extremely social person
That hate in your
my
heart.
whole life.
All that hate in your heart.
I was the popular kid at school, right?
I
was
take over you
the football captain, right?
from your
I
negative
was
thoughts.
the socialite, right? I was, they say
God gave a lot of
everybody have
people
a gift.
power.
I was at all of them,
Mine is
I
destroying that
had a good time
negative
for a long time.
by
But
mentally
what
getting in
happened
your
is every
mind.
time I was trying to level up, there were inevitably folks that felt left behind.
Every time you go to get your car
And
fixed,
I didn't feel like I
the
was
price
leaving them
gonna be
behind,
high
but
as
they felt
hell.
that they were being left behind. And
Price
with
gonna
that,
be
I
stupid
became
high.
a bit of a villain. And so
Dumb
the
high.
sacrifices I had to sacrifice, what I felt was the
All from your
popularity,
negative thinking.
was the
All
social
from your
comfort.
negative
I had to
thinking.
give that up and realize that there's going to be moments of isolation and darkness that I have to go through within myself,
I come
by
for a
myself,
hater.
in order to achieve
I come for you
the
mentally.
dreams that I had for myself.
Go ahead and
So
say
my
something.
experience type, not to cut your wheel.
Think something.
What am I
Go
at?
ahead.
ENTJ. Okay, yeah, ENTJ.
Watch how I get in your mind like Freddy
Now,
Cougar.
I need to take that again. I need to reassess that.
1, 2, rest coming for
I
you.
think it evolved a little bit.
3,
That was
4,
probably
I'ma
15 years
blow
ago.
down the
Because
door.
you strike me as somebody who
5,
is
6,
naturally
I'ma
introverted
make you
and extroverted,
sick.
right?
7, 8, I'ma come
Introverted for a
in
form of
late.
calculation. For a
9,
form of
10,
thinking.
you
You
won't say
have to,
nothing negative
like,
again.
there's
people today who face this very problem
You
is
think I'm playing
in
too.
social environments.
You think I'm playing.
People take their silence,
Play
right,
with me.
as like a form of disrespect
I
almost.
feed
And
off
that I'm
negativity
sitting around observing, and you
in your
think I need to
mind.
talk to everybody and socialize with everybody to say that I like everybody, right?
These
Or I'm
people
not
ain't
enjoying myself.
ain't
And
stronger than
it
you.
makes a person feel like
You
you're
know
not
how weak it
approachable.
is for
But
somebody to
when a
be
person
negative?
really, sometimes we have these cycles in which we
Imagine
switch
that.
to
They think they
where we
stronger than
are,
you.
inner thinkers,
You know how
and
much
we are
strength it
outer
takes for
thinkers,
you to
talking about our thoughts, and sometimes we're
mentally take
cultivating those thoughts.
all the
And
bullshit that
people have
people
to go
throw
through
at
different
you
cycles, yeah, right?
and
Cycles
not
of
fold or
inner
bend?
voice, right? And now it's my outer voice. And so
You know how to
I
do
don't
you
think
know how that
society
feel?
respects the introvert enough. And the introvert is the thinker
When
of the
people will
world.
never get the chance to
100%. I
really
mean,
know
I'm,
you.
I'm learning to
They gonna
become more
judge you.
introverted,
So
right?
no matter how many tricks
You
you
find me
do,
all the time, right, about the
how
number of
many
meetings I
suits you
take.
put on,
It's because I really don't
when they go
have a lot of
home
silence
and they
around,
body
right?
they
I used to
people,
think and
they
believe that
talking
I
bad
like
about you.
chaos, right? Like, I like to work and know
No matter what
everybody
you do,
and
they'll
be
never
around
like you.
things. But in order to be effective,
Never.
you need that silence. You need to reserve that time to think. And there's a level of
That's why you
selfishness
gotta
that's required in order
continue
to do that.
to work on yourself
So that's something I
and
had to
build.
learn.
Silence is like
Cause
darkness.
it's not
Yeah.
about where you came
And
from,
things grow in the darkness.
where you
It's
been.
addictive,
It's about where
If
you
you
going.
constantly feel with noise,
You repent
you can't become your own frequency.
to God
So you won't even
for
be
your
able to
sins.
push out your channel, right? And broadcast
Every
your
bad
thoughts
thing
because
you
you're
done
always
did,
taking in other
every
thoughts.
bad thing you
And
done
we deal with
said,
that in social media, right? Where social
even the
media is
things that
literally
come
the consistency of
that you
always
just ask
taking
for
in
God the
thoughts and
will
ideas and, some worshipping
always
other people's
drive.
thoughts and not actually thinking because as you're
And if
scrolling
you
through
get
Instagram,
lost, to lead them
you're
footsteps in
reacting
the
to
ground
thoughts,
for
but
you to
you're taking
follow
in thoughts.
so you can get back
So
on
I don't
track.
think that the world thinks for themselves and haven't thought for themselves in such
Because
a
people
long
gonna
time
try
that
to
they'll
hold you
actually know what they
down
think
forever.
about anything and don't have
You
to
gotta have
silence
the
their thoughts.
willpower. You
Yeah,
gotta be
I
mentally
think that's
strong.
where that pandemic time.
You gotta be spiritually intact.
The open internet has changed a few things in our
Because the
lives.
devil gonna come in all different types of ways.
Guess what the internet hasn't changed? Money. Yep, money.
You
USDC
gotta
is
be
one of
mentally
all the
strong.
benefits of the open internet. So it moves fast, across
You know that,
borders,
right?
real or virtual, and accessible by anyone.
You could go tell
USDC is
you
the
could go
digital
tell
wallet
100
for
people
anyone.
about what you're going through right now. You think they gonna care? For real? Out of 100 people, how many people you think gonna help you change that situation? Out of 100. Be real with yourself. Out of 100 people, how many you think gonna help you?
There was some
If you
positive
ask me, I say
in
none.
that, right? There was obviously a lot
But you
of darkness, a
against
lot
the
of
world.
sadness, right? A lot of
You gonna
struggle.
always choose you.
But the optimist in me, right? The positive
So don't
person in
forget
me.
to choose
There was
yourself.
so much in it where it taught us how little we need.
People
We
gonna
don't
say the
need all those
craziest
distractions,
shit
right?
about you
If you could find
and
happiness
never
and
ever
joy in
apologize.
those moments when we really couldn't even get outside, it taught you a lot and
Never.
made you dangerous.
And if you could, it tells you a lot about yourself.
They'll take the
It gives you
time to
something to
say the
work on.
most
Yeah.
craziest
And so I
shit
think
about
all
you.
of us, and that's why this year 24 is really interesting, right? Because now we're a couple years
But
out
you
of it.
gotta know how to
And
tap
I
into
think
your
now
power to
everyone's putting
continue to
everything
be
to work.
strong.
That's why there's power coming out.
Yeah.
Because if you got it in you, this is the time.
You gotta
Yeah,
continuously be
yeah,
strong.
this is a year of executors.
That's it.
It's either yours or it's not.
That's it.
You know what I mean? Nobody want to hear about, oh, I'm planning. What you doing,
You know what I'm
That's it,
saying?
right? Because
And I
you should
pray
have
every
had so
day. I
much
pray
time
over
to
my
plan.
food.
Like, what were you doing
I
before
pray over my
2024?
mind.
I mean, we had
I don't be
20s.
wanting to
Because it's the
pray for
roaring
money.
20s.
A lot of
You can
people I
almost
see,
look
they
at a
pray for
cycle of a
money.
paradigm, shift it back
I
into
pray for the
beginning this, right?
knowledge.
1924, we was going through
The
the
more
roaring
you
20s.
learn, the
Yeah.
more you
We were
earn.
going through innovation and
I
technology
pray
and
to
things of
have
that
the
nature. So,
brain, the mindset
history always gives us
to go make
more
billions
time
of
because now
dollars.
we have cycles to prepare for because we know what happened before during these
Because
same
if I got
pivotal
the
cycles.
information, I
You
could
know,
always go to the top.
2024 for why?
You're not where you at
It's
because you
that
just
year
don't know how
of
to get
strategy.
there.
It's
If
that
you
year of
had the
campaign. It's
information
that
how
year
to get there,
everything has to mean
you be
something.
there.
Every move that I make,
You
everything
be
that I
there.
post, every person that I talk to,
But
I
then
don't
when you
want to
think
be
about how
wasteful
easy it is for like, dang,
right?
why
I don't
nobody
want to
give me
have
the
no
information to
waste.
get from
That's
here
my
to
goal,
there?
right?
Why they
Because
don't
the
never give it
UK
to
is
me?
calling waste man out there.
Game meant to
No
be
waste man
sold, not
activities.
told.
That's it. It's coming to me talking
So when you
about
see
something that
somebody
you know
and you like,
and
man,
no
that person
value
look
to
like they
whatsoever,
gamed
you
up,
trying to waste my time.
then you find
That's
out
deserving
their
of
time is not cheap or free.
I mean,
Man,
if
you
you want
gotta
to
find
deserve
some
one,
way to
then
pay
that's
the
how you
fee.
earn one.
That's it.
But I'm just
Cause
saying,
game
like,
meant to
wasting
be
my
sold,
time.
not
Now,
told.
like, come
You
on,
know
man,
how
treat
many
me
people
like
you
how you
gonna
would treat a
get
king
their
or
attention
a
if you
president
pay
in your
them?
career. You're not gonna come to them with something
If
that
you
you know
pay
is
them for
time
the
to get
game,
done.
And this is what I want
pay them
people
for
to
the
do this
game.
year too, man. Is so that we don't waste
Start
each
going to
other's
people
time.
and be like, man, hey man, how
We're gonna
much?
open and share our
How
dreams.
much? How much can I
Let's
throw
talk
at you,
about it.
man? Holler at you
Because
for
if I
like
know what
30
your dream
minutes.
is, then I know what the dream
FaceTime
is.
call.
If you know what my dream is, you know what
Shit,
the dream
how
is.
much you get
Right? But if I
your
don't know
personal
the dream,
email?
we're spending all
I
this
get
time
like
trying to
10
do everything else.
messages.
We're wasting time.
You
Right?
know what I mean?
So be vocal with your dreams.
Shit,
Right?
I
Let's not be too
I pay you
intense and passive
$1,000 to get like 10
aggressive.
email messages
You
back
have
and
to be
forth. That's all
courageous
the
because there's a
questions I
sense of
need to ask you.
vulnerability because now you're telling somebody your goals. What we do
Boom.
with our
You know what I
resolutions,
mean?
right? They say if you want
You
to
gonna
really
get that
fulfill your
person's
resolutions,
attention.
tell everybody.
You
You know
feel
what?
me?
I ain't heard no
It probably
resolutions.
sound crazy, but
Look,
it's
people
gonna
got
get their
quiet.
attention.
I ain't heard a single
I would
resolution.
never forget that
No,
person.
everybody want to hear
You
that.
feel me?
Nah, boy, you listen.
I'd be
Hey,
like,
hey,
what?
listen,
A
man.
band?
You've been
10
following us
emails?
for the last 5
Man,
years.
go
I tell
ahead,
you,
send
I'm
that.
telling you, this year you
Send
gonna
that
do it.
through.
I don't believe
Whoa,
it.
whoa,
Now with all the stress that's going on in this world, you probably go eat more.
And I'll just be like, man, I'll never forgive that nigga. Send me
Everything
$1,000
that you're going to bring about, that's the only way
just
people
to
will
ask
believe
me
you.
10
But see,
questions on
they've had
email.
a record. They've had
That
a
was
record
cool.
of not following through.
Yeah.
So now we've gotten scared.
Everybody got a record now.
Everybody's scared.
Yeah, it
So
ain't
don't
just
be
the
scared.
felons.
Yeah, don't be scared now. This is the time I want to hear your
Where y'all
record.
from,
I
man?
want you to shout because I want you to get it done.
Yeah.
I don't want us to be scared. So let's talk about what we want. Right? What do? We've already shared what our goals were. Here's the pillars. You know all my companies. Here's what they are.
Yeah. And I
Please let me know.
But that's a
Bang,
key
bang,
method
bang,
though. Every
bang,
time you meet somebody, if you
Hey,
share
look,
your dream with
got
them, they may have the
you.
capacity to help with it.
100%.
And if it's not them, it may be somebody in their network that can help. But this makes it believable that you are actually on pace to do it. I met you.
Bam,
You met somebody
bam.
and you know them for months. They ain't told you nothing that they believe
Oh,
in.
yeah.
Why? Because they're trying to get around you and just
Oh,
socialize. And
hey, why you
socialization can
like
kill
that?
your
How you like
it can
that?
kill your
How you
identity
like
because you're
that?
trying to be like
How you
everybody
like
else.
that?
If you take on the characteristics and the traits of
Can y'all
everybody
hear
else,
that?
walk in the room with your
Let me
idea.
see.
Walk in the
My
room with
phone
your
about
dream. You come
charge
in there, you
now.
only get so much social time in the first one. And that spotlight that you get when everybody's listening to you is a platform for you to be able to voice the things that you actually want. Right? People spend too much time sometimes networking, right? But doing nothing with the network.
It's because they don't have a dream.
Yeah.
They don't have a dream. I really don't have time, and I don't want to be around folks that don't have a dream.
Mm-hmm.
And because what that tells me is you're really a coward.
Mm.
And I can't trust you at that point.
If they ain't got a dream, they're a coward. You can't trust them.
So that comes out harsh, but I truly believe that because when you probe on people,
Yeah.
there's always a dream.
That's what I heard when you first said it, because everybody got a dream, and some people are afraid of it.
They're afraid.
Some people are either afraid of the success or the failure of the dream. I don't know what it. I think the success of it a lot of times is more scary to people.
Oh man.
Because once you get it, oh, I got imposter syndrome. You know what I'm saying? And I was talking to my mentee. I said, for me, imposter syndrome, is this idea that you don't believe you are who you say you are, right? But to me, it's supposed to be, it's like an inner test, right? It's just to stretch you, are you living at that zenith that you believe you can be, right? Because for me, if I was to gain an imposter syndrome, it just means that I have not fully reached the zenith of my capabilities. You can be better at this. And it's also go to an insecurity that you think things have to be perfect.
Yeah.
And perfectionism is built out of insecurities because you never think you're good enough. So you're constantly rotating these thoughts. I ain't good enough. What about this person? Nah, you believe you're supposed to be there. You're just insecure about your position because you don't believe that you've reached your zenith yet.
And I
Tighten up.
I think the other side of it too is, sometimes we want to block our gifts, right? We want to dim it. And so, the other side of imposter syndrome is we question why we've been given so much. And again, that's a cowardly thought because, too much is given.
Right.
Much is expected.
Yeah, man. The real soldiers ain't gonna be like, well, you put me on the mission. Then you know why I put you on the mission.
You that one.
Now you
right.
should be mad if I put you on one of them little boy missions.
And life becomes very simple, right? When you realize that it is about uncovering your gifts and then just sharing it with the world.
Yeah.
That's all we're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So don't question the gift. Don't question the journey.
Mm-hmm.
Go for it.
But see,
That's what you're here for.
you super tactile. You only call people when you know you got some value or you want to grab some value.
Period.
Right? Because when you call me, it's a bill. Yo, how do you do this? Yo, what's your system? Yo, what's this thing? Is I think that's where one of your superpowers is the consistency of curiosity.
Yeah.
Right? In a way where it doesn't feel draining for the next person. It feels explorative.
Yeah.
To where it's like you're helping a person in that Q&A even realize some of their powers because you're telling them about a value that they have,
Yeah.
right, and how they can be of value to you. And the person like, oh, wait a minute, you saying I'm Superman? You want to know how I fly? Okay, let me show you how I fly. Whoop, I can grab a cape. You know what I'm talking about? I made sure I got my stance right. I took my power move in the air. You and me, I tapped me into the sun. You feel me? I'm outside.
Yeah.
What more you need to know? So I feel like that's a key. It's like that way of going about even having that ability to ask questions and deliver value at the same time.
100%.
You know, like some people can drain you, or it feel like you just taking. Most people don't know how to give and make it reciprocal.
And I think, most people enjoy talking about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So,
Yeah.
it's a great way to ease into conversation. I think what can be draining sometimes is when people interact with you and they lead with themselves, what they need. You know what I mean? But you can get what you need by asking someone, right? Instead of asking for advice, look for a story. So that's why I say sometimes I don't want to give advice. I want to tell you a story. So for me, what I'm doing with you a lot of times, I'm pulling out your story. Tell me about this.
Yeah.
How'd you get that? Because I really am asking a question for myself,
Yeah.
but you're telling me your story. So now I'm taking notes on that. Like, I appreciate it. Thank you. You know what I mean? But it felt like you were just sharing your story instead of like doing something for me.
And those are the moments I appreciate because I'm gathering intelligence from myself as well, and I'm getting perspective on myself as well. Things that I might not think about because I'm just busy doing them. And now I have that piece that I may have shared with you, but now I have for me as well. So it's like we built something together.
And I'm gonna throw a seed out there because we're not gonna tackle it today.
Okay.
But part of it is what comes with and what happens once you actually achieve what you've manifested, when you've realized it, right? Because like you said, a lot of people are scared of actually being successful. I want you to tap into, over the course of this series, what the journey has been like when you have already started to achieve what you've manifested. Right? You've reached some of the pinnacles and you're not done yet, right? In no ways. Your goals are endless, and I respect that and love that. But now you've achieved it. I've seen you walk in the room and people are whispering, it's 19 keys, that's 19 keys, and they're getting their courage up to come over, right, and talk to you. So now your interactions and your conversations are very different. I want you to tap in on what's that been like, because you're now a different person in a lot of other people's eyes. And I think people need to hear what that's like.
In this video,
Man,
I'm going to show you how to create
that boy
access
19
advertising
Keys is a
from
brilliant
start
brother.
to finish using Adobe Express, the quick and easy.
Yeah. So we don't save that one. We're gonna save that one. So y'all make sure y'all put in some of the notes in chat because I want Keys to go in. That might be a whole episode.
Same. And I want, a matter of fact, everybody that come here, I want people to go in on that because there's a lot of people that I know is. Sometimes you feel as a person that other people deem as successful. When you share some of your plights and struggles that come along with it, you feel like you complain.
Yeah.
Right? And you always feel people who have less than you don't want to hear your complaints.
Yeah.
Right? And so what you end up doing is you find silos of people who are having the same struggles. And it's not complaining, it's sharing with them.
Yeah.
Right? And those people need that to become the support system. Like, yo, you dealing with the same, how you deal with it, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you feel like, oh, I'm not crazy, I'm not the only person that's dealing with that.
See.
So successful people need a support system of other successful people, and they usually have to isolate their family from their problems because their family can't help with their problems.
Come on, and that's the isolation, right? Because when you start to achieve a level of
That's
success,
real.
right, and you start to accomplish your dreams, now you become what do I see the women always saying online, like, I don't want to be the strong friend anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
You automatically become the strong friend because you've achieved something, and and there's some respect in that, but at the same time, it almost dehumanizes us because it means that you can no longer feel.
And men always want to be the strong friend. Well, we just don't want you to treat us like we never have moments of weakness.
Come on,
Right? Because
come on.
then it feels like I can only help and never be helped.
That's it.
And I think that that makes you feel alone.
That's the
Right?
journey.
And when a person feels alone, they feel like there's nobody there for them. That they're on a life draft just floating away and nobody's coming, no rescue. And then that's when, that can kind of turn on people. You can kind of become aggressive and angry and you hold grudges against people because you know you can't use them for nothing and they can only use you. So you start to feel used. And so people don't often have that idea of being empathy. Like, okay, here's my problems, but I wonder what their problems are. Then you go into different levels of thinking. I wonder how they view me for always coming to them with problems, but never sharing with them. Right? So when you start thinking about your own level of self-awareness, your bond and your connections to people, and then how is that relationship, right, having this compound effect on how they view themselves, how they view you, how the world views them. You start to think in these layers to where you become an observer, and those people can tell that you are empathetic to their situation, and they appreciate that because you're going to speak with that empathy just by taking that time out to think first. So before you call somebody, think. I said, think about their transaction with the world, how they're viewed, how they must have to think about themselves, how other people have to think about them, how you think about them, right? People have to go through all of these nuances of thought as they ascend in society, right? Because the most primitive part of society is thinking from a lens of survival to where you only think for self. This is what I need to do to eat. So you're dealing with everybody and you're only thinking of yourself because you have to, because otherwise you run out of time. And the people that are helping you cannot think about yourself because they have to be the support system for others because they know other people are looking at them. So all their moves are always thinking about others and self last, especially bosses.
That's it. And that's what this journey is about. I think that's what's so important about this platform. Right? One is getting back to journey. Right? That's our first step. We got to get back to manifesting. Right? Get our courage back. But then there's also a journey of who we have to become in order to realize it. Right? And then we have to be strong enough to deal with that success. Right? And understand that everything around us now has changed.
You know, I want to get people out of work out the boxes. Come on. Listen, man. I do it, man. The corporate world has created these polished shields around you that you believe you have to filter everything in order to do diversion, to be safe. And safety is really dangerous. Yeah. Right? Because the edge is where you want to live in. And you can tell when a man or woman is not living at the edge. They have all these safety barriers before they ever get to the edge. And if you never step to the edge, you never face your fears. Right? And the man that's living at that edge, I'm talking about somebody that's living right there where people look at me and they're like, he must be always facing his fears. Because it's not the fact that what you're doing is not dangerous, it's that you keep living at the edge, regardless. So that's the one thing that people have when they observe me. They first observe themselves and be like, what would I do in this situation? People in that situation go through this. If you do this, then this must happen to you. Then they be like, well, how are you maintaining a calm stasis throughout the program? And so most people are is the way I handle being in my position. Right? Because they always create a reference frame if I was in or I wouldn't do or when others have done. And then they layer that on top of who I am. And they attribute the greatness of my identity based upon my ability to continue to strive against the challenges.
Yeah, you're comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right? And that's ultimately what we're all trying to get to because you need to be uncomfortable in order to grow. You can't grow in comfort. Right? They have the story of the lobster. Right? For a lobster in order to grow, it's got to cast off the shell. Right? It's got to get vulnerable. Right? be out there. So it's got to be incredibly uncomfortable in order to grow.
But you always making yourself uncomfortable as well because there's a level of edginess that you have to where you're always pushing people and you're always pushing yourself in different situations and circumstances. You're super strategic thinker, but it's like you're constantly, even the people that I see you surround yourself with, you know people with all backgrounds, but you surround yourself with people who you know are pushing themselves and you are introducing them to your world to open up that world a bit more because I believe that you're like a behind the scenes example for people. Like you don't have to be afraid of this. You can do this while still maintaining the necessity of doing things the right way. Right?
And I think that's what I want to do though, is share a bit more. Like openness, right? Is the fact that
Dip into Raising Cane's when you crave something hot, fresh, and oh so delicious. Dip in for
commercial.
chicken fingers.
when I plan for the year, I put down a list on paper, and if it doesn't scare me, I take it off because I'm not dreaming big. And I don't want to put a limit on my abilities. And so every year I'm trying to go somewhere that I've never been, which means there's a natural level of fear, and I want to conquer every year. And I think that's what all of us are trying to do, right? We are, somebody told me, it's like, what is anxiety? Anxiety is just a bitch in the old you, right? That's why we're feeling anxious, right? We feel anxious about something because we're looking at it from our old self, not who we have to become to go through that situation. Because once you do it, now you're no longer anxious, right? You want.
I'm still not over this before. Man said anxiety is just a bitch in the old.
But you think about it, right? I mean, look, I've bungee jumped, right? I've swam with sharks, I've skydived, right? You think about all that. There's anxiety before you do it, right? You're getting ready and it's like, you're sweating a little bit, you're rocking, you're nervous, right? That anxiety is getting you. Then you do it, right? You get that rush, and all of a sudden, you can do it again, no problem. Because now, you've experienced it. So it's any time we're manifesting, right? We think about these goals. What I have to encourage all of us, right, is we have to be uncomfortable. Dream big. Dream to the point where it is uncomfortable. Because if you're dreaming within comfort, it's not big enough. You're not going to grow. You're not going to evolve. You're not going to develop. And too many of us, too many in my circle, have stayed in their level of comfort. We got to get outside of that, step outside of that box that you're talking about.
You got to do what you want to do.
Come on, man.
I just think that you got to drop your nuts and have some guts. You know what I mean? That's how you get out the ruts and live like your nuts. I'm just trying to tell you, man.
Oakland in the building. Oakland in the building.
You feel me? Every time, man. But in real life, I think that we missing so much grit that when people go through stuff, they want to quit. Right? You got to have that resilience, right? Where you just keep going through it. That's the military side that I think is the key, right? Just coming back to that. You doing push-ups, you want to give up, but in your mind, you're like, I ain't even the type of person that give up. I'm like, oh man, this mind don't matter. I want to stop. Nope, I'm gonna keep going. You feel me? And every time you put yourself in a situation, it's like the Black Samurai, Yasuke, right? He was stolen and shipped to Japan to be a slave. And when they shipped him to Japan, they set him in front of, I think it was Nobunaga, who was the warlord at the time. And they made him strict in front of everybody, right? And he decided that this wasn't going to be a journey that, destroyed him. He decided that I'm in a land full of people, I don't speak the same language, I don't know their culture, I'm not used to their food, I'm not used to none of this. But I want to learn their ways and I want to make the most out of it. This is nothing that's going to break me, right? And he went on to become the first Black Samurai, right? And I think about that story because you can be put in the worst conditions. You can even feel like, you felt humiliated. And then at some point in time, a person quits. They quit before things even begin. Or they can say, I'm going to make the best out of this because they don't know my story. They don't know me. They don't even know all of this ain't even going to break me. What you may think you're putting me in a situation that's going to make me feel like I'm less than you don't even know. That's just a way that I'm going to use this to show y'all I'm more than anything you ever thought of me. So,
Listen, we got a lot of episodes.
Yeah.
we're gonna bring in a lot of black samurais, people that have achieved amazing things, people that have dreamed more than most do, people that have faced a level of adversity and war and been in real gunfights and battles, right? Who have been on the run from the police and avoiding jail time.
Okay, you talking about
We talking about people that have built and sold companies, people who are running countries.
I thought you said countries away,
right?
Man, I want this person.
So we have a plethora of guests
Yeah,
that are across so many different industries that I'm excited to get their stories out and to learn the process in which they've been able to manifest, how they've been able to leverage an adaptable mind in order to grow and to achieve the things they've achieved or to get through some of the situations they've gotten through. And I'm excited to experience that and learn from these folks with you to see what we end up.
broader discussions about. You can go every college is probably one of the biggest examples of you wanting a goal in mind. And most of the time, most people go to college for their parents, right? That's a lot of times the biggest thing is for family. Make the family proud. They paying for it. Don't want to let them down, but they don't usually know why they're going.
Yeah.
And when they get out, they still don't know why they went. They just know they do have debt. And the thing about it is, you know, when you go into college or you doing anything, there was a question that became asked is that is college underrated? And the thing for me is it's the wrong question, right? And maybe it's the right one. But as I went through my full thought, it was the fact that we believe education is underrated. And this is what we haven't learned to appreciate. Because education is underrated. Yeah. Because we talk so much about college, and the only point of college really is the education. What will you learn? What can you do with that? Who did you meet? If we want to talk about the network, right? The social effect of college doesn't make people successful. And a lot of people go to college to socialize. I was able to get out my shell, get to know people. So we haven't created a great social environment in the world where people feel like they can go out in the world, meet people, and develop themselves and meet great people along that. And our children feel like they have to go from high school to college to manifest a dream. And so you would tell a person, I want to go to college so I can make a certain amount of money, afford a certain living. Yeah. And now society is saying, wait a minute, there's different ways. How much money you want to make? 100,000, 200,000? All right. Well, let's explore all the different careers and skill sets that you can have and the strategies you can go about getting that amount of capital per year, right? And the new type of lives that you can live. And we haven't adjusted that conversation yet.
That's the thing that I am having a challenge with on the way college is constructed today. Because a lot of people are going to college to find out what their dream is. Yes. Because we've stopped asking children what their dreams are. And it's like, what happened to that? When we were all, 5 and 6 and, in kindergarten and first grade, somebody would come in, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Right.
Right? And that question stops
because
by the time you get to high school.
That question a lot was to sell you college.
It was to sell you college, but now you get to high school and somebody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? We go through and we're trying to discover and understand what our major was. I was that man, rest in soul, but I had a funeral I went to a couple of weeks ago, man, from a brother I went to high school with, and it was super sad, like funerals always are, but there was some greatness that came out of that because it was people that I got to connect with that I hadn't seen since high school, and a lot of them, came up to me and they were saying, Keenan, man, what you wrote in my yearbook, you knew exactly what you wanted, and we watched you do it. And I had to sit there and reflect back, man, and I have to give a shout out to my parents, Larry and Rosario. They made me talk about my dreams all the time, in front of them, in front of their friends, and we got to get back to encouraging kids to talk about their dreams, to dream, guys. We got to get back on this playground, and this is now why we had to create this, because we need to create a playground for everybody's dreams. Get back to talking about what you're dreaming. And this is giving everybody who's watching freedom to dream again.
One of the biggest things you realize when you manifest a dream is that you didn't dream big enough.
Come on.
And I was thinking about something I wrote down years ago. I wanted to reach 19 million people. And I'm like, silly, man. That was too small. But to have the audacity to say I want to reach the entire world, it wasn't that I didn't believe it. You just know that everybody else wouldn't believe it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so you realize that you got to be around other people who are willing to believe in the impossible in order for your dream to even have the right environment to foster it. Because I definitely think that we dream small because we tailor it to other people's expectations and not what we believe is possible. One of the gifts you gave me is when you told me that I'm an economy.
Mm.
And what you do is give perspective shifts.
Yeah.
And that perspective shift can be huge to how a person goes about doing business and scaling their business and going about, dealing with their dream. Because even, I'm big on language, right? Like being the word influencer, I think is a demeaning language to what people really build.
Yeah.
And without having the corporate language, you don't know how to, put these things in their proper context.
Yeah.
And now you can't speak to people in the context in which you should.
Yeah.
And because they know you don't have it, then they don't have to treat you like that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I think the big thing for me is and I appreciate you for that because what I'm always looking for is the value in others. And I think it stems from I genuinely just love people. And I'm curious. And that can be intimidating for some folks because I'm only gonna speak to you in the greatness that I see. And sometimes that may be your potential and you're not there yet. And I'm talking to someone in a way in which it scares them because they may not be there yet.
Yeah.
But I'm really trying to speak life into folks because that's how I want them to speak into me. Right? And I have high expectations and high belief in all of us because I believe in our dreams. That's why we want to hear it. And I think it's why I give you so much respect because it's not I've watched you not just online but in person dream and be vocal about it and evolve into one of the greatest thought leaders of our generation, right? And you've been able to do that by challenging yourself, not just challenging each other. You challenge yourself every week to be better, right? You're building up your knowledge base. You're questioning things. You are a free thinker, and free thinkers dream. And that is where we all are trying to tap into. So when I am talking to people, I'm never going to speak down to folks because there's so much in them. There's so much value in them. And so I'm just looking at the framing of the value. So when someone like you has, millions of followers, right, when we talk about that from a social media standpoint, but you are truly impacting millions of people, right? Not just online, but even on your tour. Let's talk about that, right, in real life. That is what an economy is, right? It's not just about borders, right? It is about shaping how people move throughout society. Where are they inspired? Where do they want to work? Where are they going for sustenance? They're now going to you. And so that's why you can't move around this place. There's a responsibility that comes with that. You can't just move like an individual, right? You can't just move like you're a social media influencer. Nah, you're an economy. You got to move like a governor.
Yeah.
You got to